Who wants to take a great adventure to a city that never sleeps? Well, I've got a place for you. It's the Big Apple. Yes, I'm talking about New York City. Everyone needs to experience this city once in their lifetime. We all love vacations, spending a little bit of time away from our normal day-to-day lives and having fun with family and friends. New York City has so much to offer to everyone on the trip. I was able to visit this beautiful big city last summer with my family. It was an amazing experience to see all the different cultures and people interacting with each other in a way I've never been able to see before in my quiet suburban life in Florida. I will never forget this experience. From Times Square to the various food trucks, there's so much to see in New York. Graham Fuller describes his first time walking the streets of Times Square as an the un and Graham Fuller describes the experience of walking through Times Square perfectly and says, "The unbridled energy, the custom characters, and incessant flashing of neon lights make for an out-of-body experience a bit like that of being a sardine in a tin can." It's an amazing sight to see, nonetheless, to say the least. Today, I'm going to tell you in detail about some of the attractions that New York City can offer you. I hope to persuade you to take a trip to the beautiful, culture-filled Big Apple. In my speech today, I will be talking about number 1, the beautiful art museums, number 2, the wide array of international and experimental foods, and number 3, the gigantic beauties that scrape the horizon. Scrape the sky, skyscrapers. Okay, so I will start by talking about 2 of the most incredible art museums that NYC has to offer. So the art scene in NYC is exceptional, absolutely phenomenal. There's so much art on display in countless museums. You could get entranced in the copious amounts of spectacular art displayed in these museums. The first museum I'd like to introduce you guys to is the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's one of the largest in the United States. It's over 150 years old, and it's just a grand sight to see. It has over 2 million artifacts dating back to over 5,000 years ago. There's so much to take in. You could just get lost in this museum for days, taking in all of the beautiful art and not even be done with it at the end of the day. The museum owns one of the world's largest collection of works of art. The art featured are from various different cultures. The museum is rich with history. History and art buffs would absolutely enjoy this museum for its wide array of old artifacts and beautiful art pieces. So, the second museum I'd like to introduce you to is the Museum of Modern Art. And this is also a very great, expansive museum that you should check out on your trip to New York. It's located in Midtown Manhattan, and it's solely devoted to modern art pieces. There's film, design, and performance art of all sorts on display to observe at this museum. According to Google Arts and Culture, the MoMA includes over 150,000 paintings, sculptures, drawings, prints, photographs, architectural models, and drawings and design objects, approximately 22,000 films and 4 million film stills, and in its library and archives, over 30,000 books, artist books, and periodicals, and extensive individual files on more than 70,000 artists. I will never forget my state of awe walking through the halls of those museums. It was incredibly outstanding, and the crazy amount of art up on display had my jaw on the floor the entire time. Nothing, it was just such an experience. I'll never forget it. So after you visit all of these beautiful art museums, and you're gonna be a little fatigued, a little hungry. Well, good thing there's a wide variety of different foods and from different cultures in NYC for you to try. So I share a love for food with many Americans. Good, tasty, new food is very important on a vacation. New York City has so much food to offer and new foods to try from different cultures. It's amazing. New York City is a foodie's heaven. The city has over 20,000 restaurants. There's new food to try everywhere, on every single corner, new food trucks, and you could eat somewhere different for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day you're there. People line up for hours just to try the cuisines that the chefs in NYC make. There's food for everyone in every mood. So there's the Cronets, Frankel's Delicatessen, the world famous Katz Delicatessen, and Movo's, and also Casa Enrique for the ethnic international cuisines that are offered in NYC. And then if you're thinking, I'm vegan, are there any vegan options in NYC? I'd say yes, there are. The vegan scene in New York City is unparalleled. It's outstanding. The best vegan restaurant in NYC is By Chloe. They are dedicated to serving food free of dairy and animal products and use only locally grown foods. And there's also Champ Diners, Vita, and so much more to explore and just try new takes on different foods that you've tried before, and just experience a whole new food environment than what you're used to. It's amazing. So as you walk along the streets of NYC, it's hard not to notice the gigantic architecture lining the streets. The massive skyscrapers that NYC has to offer are a sightseer's dream come true. There are big buildings. New York City's horizon is scattered with tall, beautiful buildings that scrape the sky. Walking down the street of Manhattan can humble you with the number of skyscrapers towering over you. There's the iconic Empire State Building, standing at over 2,248,000 feet with over 100 floors. The Empire State Building is a sight you'll never forget. It was formerly the tallest building in the whole entire world until 1971. This building is not only an icon, like a New York City icon, it's also became a symbol of the 20th century's man attempt to achieve greatness and the impossible. The Chrysler Building is also a grand sight. It's an Art Deco skyscraper located in Manhattan. Before the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building held the title of world's tallest structure in the world. The Chrysler Building stands at 1,196,958 feet with 77 floors. The World Trade Center is also a sight to see. It was completed in 2013 and it stands at almost 3,501,274 feet, and it is the tallest building in the United States. Along with being the tallest building in the United States, it also has extensive meaning and history. It was built in place of the Twin Towers, which were attacked during the 9/11 attacks. that took countless innocent lives, which is really sad. But the World Trade Center, One World Trade Center, is a beautiful piece, and I think everyone needs to see it in their lifetime. You have to see these beautiful buildings to believe them. If you aren't afraid of heights, the views from the top of these buildings are jaw-dropping. It really puts the world into perspective. To put it into perspective for you guys, on a clear day, 5 states are visible from the observation deck of the Empire State Building. So I hope this speech stays with you while you're planning your next vacation. New York City is an amazing place to visit with your friends and family. There's so much to see, so much to unpack, and the possibility of being bored is extremely low. There's so much to experience in NYC. The sights at all the art museums, the food, and beautiful skyscrapers is just the beginning of what NYC has to really offer. Everyone needs to experience the Big Apple at least once in their lifetime. You won't believe it until you see it for yourself.